Suburbs always look perfect from the outside. Peaceful streets, trimmed lawns, children playing, but behind these fences, stories unfold. My story began right here with a neighbor named Karen. I wanted a simple life for my family. Breakfasts together, a safe home, a calm neighborhood. But peace is fragile, especially when someone tests your patience every single day. The first time I saw her car blocking my garage, I thought it was a mistake. But when I asked her to move it, her answer was unforgettable. She smiled and said, "Oh, was that your garage? I'll move it later." Not now. Later. That one selfish act made me late for work. My boss was furious. And I sat in traffic fuming, wondering why my neighbor thought my driveway was her parking lot. But it wasn't a one-time thing. Days passed, and her car was there again and again. Each morning, a new excuse. Each evening, my patience stretched thinner. I turned to the HOA for help. But of course, guess who sat on the board? Karen herself. She laughed off my complaints, and the board sided with her. My wife told me to stay calm, to ignore her. But it wasn't just about me anymore. It was about my family, our safety, our home. Every time I saw her car out there, I felt powerless. And when a man feels powerless in his own home, something inside begins to break. One morning, she laughed when I begged her to move her car. That laugh was the last straw. That was the moment I decided Karen was about to learn a lesson. I researched every option. Tow trucks. Complaints. Even the police. But then I found something better. Something poetic. I called in a favor from a friend who worked in logistics. Together, we planned something Karen could never forget, and then came the morning. The day everything would change. I stood outside my garage, heart pounding, waiting for the sound of blades. The sound grew louder, and there it was. A helicopter, lowering down like judgment itself, ready to take her pride away. Within minutes, her beloved car was chained and lifted. Neighbors gasped. Cameras came out. And Karen? She came running. She screamed, cursed, waved her arms in the air. But it was too late. Her car was already airborne. The whole neighborhood watched as her car soared across the sky, carried like a trophy of justice. My justice, and where did it land? On the mayor's perfectly manicured front lawn. Because nothing says Karen problem like City Hall involvement. Reporters were already there covering another story. Suddenly, they had breaking news. Karen's car, dropped on the mayor's lawn. The HOA called an emergency meeting. Karen demanded answers, demanded justice. But all she got was laughter from the very people she tormented. That night, my wife smiled for the first time in weeks. My daughter laughed at the story. And I felt peace in my home again. Karen could never escape it. Wherever she went, people whispered. She wasn't the queen of the HOA anymore. She was a joke. As I stood in my driveway, free at last, I realized revenge isn't always about anger. Sometimes, it's about balance. About restoring peace. And for the first time in a long time, I could breathe. Because in the suburbs, peace doesn't come easy. Sometimes, you have to fight for it.